Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. I thought it'd be a good time to, for the OGs that have been here, to bring back a very reminiscent background for the final time. Before tomorrow, I am back in Dubai and I'm back in my familiar surroundings, and you'll be getting a match review for tomorrow's game between Wolves and Chelsea, back in the normal spot with my two monitors and everything as it was before. So this is the final video that I'm going to be doing away, and I thought it'd be a good idea to get the OG background back in the back on the channel for one time, or one last time, at least for the forthcoming months whilst I'm going to be away. So yeah, it's good to see that everything's still intact. That ball is still there. It's flat now. That doesn't go on anymore, and I'm not surprised because we don't play Champions League football anymore. And my plaque is with me in Dubai, so that's what would normally have been there. But anyway, it's not. But let's get to more important things. We've got Wolves tomorrow in the Premier League, and this is your preview before we jump into that. The games that we had today. I'm going to be shameless, yeah? Manchester United. What was that? Now, listen, there's going to be United fans, Saeed included, right, that will probably go on, but Younes, shut up, because, you know, you lot will probably lose tomorrow. Yeah, we might, but we got nothing to lose. At this point, we're on the floor, yeah? So, it is what it is. Tomorrow, oh, and by the way, yeah, Arsenal beat Villa. Even though, look, Villa should have. Villa basically had Chelsea-itis, yeah? They had a fantastic case of Chelsea-itis. What's Chelsea-itis? Chelsea-itis is being able to dominate a game for the majority of it and not bury your chances where you should have been 4-0 up and then you lose, right? That's Chelsea-itis. So, Ollie Watkins looked like looked like one of our own. I don't know how he missed what he's missed. And for someone of his calibre, if I was an Aston Villa fan, I'd be fuming. Yeah, fuming. You see the way that I was looking at Mark Guew going, how did you miss that, right? That would have been tenfold for Ollie Watkins, because at least Mark Guew is 18. He's only just come, and even though for me there's no excuse, but at least Ollie Watkins, established Premier League striker, top de la creme, yeah? And he's missing that. And not just that, he's missed twice. No, I'm sorry, mate. I'd be kicking off. If I was a Villa fan, I'd be going mental. However, I'm not. Arsenal won, fair play. Chelsea, though, this is a very interesting game. And this is where, for the Conference League review that I gave you guys against Servette, I said that this game is going to hold substance. This game is going to tell us what we need to know. This game is going to explain a lot of clarity. We're going to get a lot of clarity tomorrow, because the one thing that some people might look at and go in terms of the game against Servette is that maybe Chelsea just weren't up for it. It's a Conference League qualifier. Maybe we didn't come out of second gear. Maybe. I don't really think that's the case, but who knows? Against Wolves, though, Premier League game, got to start the season strong. There's no excuse. I said that the game against Manchester City, for me, that's not where the season starts. The season starts during the next Premier League game, which is tomorrow. So for me, our season properly begins tomorrow against Wolves. So I'm expecting, if life was normal, for Chelsea to take this game completely seriously, go up there, hold the standards high and get a result, yeah? Hopefully we do. But this is a worrying place to go to. This isn't a place we normally like to visit. And Wolves are a good team. Despite us taking Pedro Neto, they are still well equipped. And when you actually look at our form at the Molineux, it's not good. It's not. In fact, we've won one game against Wolves, period, home and away. One game since 2020. It's now 2024. And we've only won one against them. In fact, we've not gone to the Molineux and won at the Molineux since 2019. We don't like this ground. Simple as that. It's the same way that Man United don't like Brighton. It's the same way that we don't like Wolves. So, like United lost to Brighton today, in fantastic fashion, by the way, it's also, for me, a possibility that we go to Molineux tomorrow and struggle. It's definitely a possibility. However, we have to entertain what is it that Chelsea need to do tomorrow to give themselves the best chance. So we'll get into my starting 11 shortly, and I'm going to have to try and think about this like impromptu and try and come up with it on the spot, because there's so many different solutions, well, ways, not solutions, because we don't actually know what the solutions are, but so many different ways that we could lay out and decide to take our game to Wolves tomorrow. In terms of injury news, same old really. No one's out. Everyone's available, which is great, except for Reece James, and that's something we already knew about. Cole Palmer, I think, is all right, despite him clutching his leg in the Conference League game against Servette. He's apparently trained and he's okay, so he should be good to go. Aside from that, everyone's all good. So, apologies, I'm still recovering. I should be better tomorrow, hopefully. I'm flying, I gotta be. But everyone's intact, everyone's good, no one's out, so I'm expecting a strong team. And no corner cutting or anything like that. Tomorrow, we have to go all guns blazing. Now, Maresca, in his press conference, did outline the fact that he doesn't cut corners for anyone. He bases his selection on form, not just in the games, but during the week and in training as well. And anyone that's not pulling their weight is not going to make it into the team. Now, that makes sense. Fantastic. And that's good to hear. But we need to see a reflection of that in-game during performances. And we can't be sloppy and making silly mistakes and giving the ball silly and doing all of that, because all that's going to do is just add tension. And you know what we're like when there's tension? We just fold, right? We fold. So it's about time we start, doing things properly. When it comes to the starting 11, I can't show you the graphics like I normally would. I would try and have everything on screen for you guys, but I don't. That will be from tomorrow onwards. We'll be back to that. And in terms of the starting 11, we know Sanchez is going to be in goal. So Sanchez in goal. I still find that whole thing baffling. But Sanchez in goal. Malo Gusto right back. Cucurella left back. Centre back, look, I'll be honest. I when I look at our options, I feel the most secure, not indefinitely secure, but the most secure with Tosin, right? So Tosin starts. Alongside him, I would go for Fofana. Tosin Fofana, I think, could be our most stable centre-back pairing. So for me, I would juggle with that and try that out first. The midfield is where there's a big problem. There's a big problem. And that problem's Enzo Fernandez. Genuinely, and you know what? He's the captain now. So I've got him starting in terms of what I think Maresca's going to do. But would I start Enzo? I'll be honest. I know why my gut is telling me to jump forward with Lavia and Caicedo instead. Lavia and Caicedo in a double pivot. That's what I would do. With Caicedo obviously having the more license to move forward, Lavia is a DM. He can sit, and we're comfortable with that. So Lavia sits, Caicedo can bounce a little more forward. I would do that. In the 10, this is where it gets tough. My initial gut tells me this, right? It tells me Nkunku in the 10, Palmer on the right, Pedro Neto on the left, Jackson up front. Right? But then I start thinking, I'm like, oh no, but and I have to say this, I think Madueke deserves to be starting. Which means someone's got to miss out. And that someone who's going to miss out is going to be Wild. And this is where we look, and we've got so many options here. I think Nkunku would have to be the one to miss out. Yeah? There's also another player that we have to discuss here. What about João Felix? What about Felix? Are we going to go with... Look at the combinations I might come up with now, yeah? There's also another solution. I'll come to that in a sec. If you play Madueke, you play Palmer in the 10, right? You play Felix on the left. You don't play Pedro Neto. But you don't play Nkunku either. Or maybe you don't play Jackson. Maybe you play Nkunku up front. Or how about Lavia as a 6 with 2 8s? And all of a sudden now you've got yourself an additional attacker, and maybe that's what Maresca might do. But that would mean Caicedo's not in the fold. You go Lavia and then you go Palmer and Nkunku, right? Or Palmer Felix with Madueke on the right. Or you go Palmer on the right with Felix and Nkunku. Pedro Neto on the left. Actually, that might bang. That might bang. That might bang, you know. That might... It's there's not a lot of balance there. It's very, very, very... It's ultra-attacking. That's a very ultra-attacking lineup. Can you imagine? Lavia in the 6, Nkunku right 8, Felix left 8, Pedro Neto, Palmer, and then the striker, Jackson. That's a very, 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 very attacking lineup. And you know what? We have to... This is why I say play the double pivot. Because we have to compensate for the fact that defensively we are a bit of a mess. And if we just leave spaces, we'll be done. We'll be done. That lineup that I just gave you would leave our back four exposed. It would leave Lavia having to deal with everything, and we can't do that. So this is why I wouldn't entertain that. As nice as it sounds in our heads, especially for the FIFA and Football Manager merchants out there, yeah, it looks unbelievable on paper, but it just... I think we would be killing ourselves. So I wouldn't do that. That first lineup that I gave you is what I would start off with and see how it goes and try and bring some stability to the game and then see where we can move forward with. So fingers crossed we get the result. But I got to be honest, this isn't a ground that I like. This isn't a ground that I find comfortable, and this is why I'm a little bit... So in terms of a prediction, before we come to an end, I'm going to tell you I am going to go with a... I think it'll be tight. I can't lie. I'm going Wolves 1, Chelsea 1. I don't like the Molineux. If this was another away ground, say for example we went to Goodison, right? I'd be like, yeah, I think we can get a result. Molineux, I don't like the Molineux. And like I've just mentioned, I think defensively we are still exposed. And Wolves have quality. They have quality. So let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. And like I want to end on 1.2. We still don't really know much about this Chelsea team or Maresca. We don't. We just don't know how it's going to work, or we don't know what's going to happen. We genuinely don't know. This is pure guesswork. So let's wait and see what happens. Everyone can have their predictions and feelings and whatnot, but with time we're going to start discovering what we're truly about, for good or for bad. So let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your predictions, what you think is going to happen. Say goodbye to the old OG background, for now at least. And then when the next time comes and I'm back here, then we'll definitely get this back on the channel again. Thanks for featuring one last time. And tomorrow, review won't be up immediately after the game, as I am going to be flying, and I'm looking to catch the flight to catch the game on the plane, because they do Premier League football, which is nuts. But I'm guessing about a couple of hours after the game has ended is when I will be able to post. And my internet will be ultra quick, so don't worry. We've got the old setup back. It's going to be sick. All right, so I'll see all of you tomorrow after it's all said and done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Notification bell on, and I'll catch all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves. Take care, and peace.